Ooh. I don't even know where I put my notes that fast. I want so there are a couple of questions I want to ask off front, and then we're going to get into further questions. We'll see where we go. We'll see where we go. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Farouk. Hey, Jess. Hey, XOXO. There are a couple of questions. I'm trying to think of how I want to ask them. I'm going to ask them with the cards, or we're going to start with the pendulum. Oh, my goodness. Like, y'all. Okay, so apparently, if you weren't keeping up, the guy that, morning, the guy that we all have been on obituary watch for has apparently, y'all don't know what just came out. 3 of Swords in reverse. The guy we've been watching for obituary watch. We got a three of Swords in reverse. Real interesting. Apparently he was rushed somewhere. If you go, it's on Threads, but under the desk news, they have a on Threads. They didn't post it on TikTok, but on Threads they have posted about the orange man being all of a sudden thrown, like things thrown into his schedule about like at 3:30 he's leaving for Mar-a-Lago, etc. And it was really interesting because it wasn't there. And then someone took a picture of him being rushed with an ambulance behind him. Now, does that mean he has some emergency in Mar-a-Lago? Possibly, except he was supposed to be there by like 4:30, 5:30 at the time, because it doesn't take very long to get from Washington, D.C. to Florida. It doesn't take long at all. But he didn't pull up, so to speak, until 8 o'clock. So, and that was very curious because the same account under the desk news, she posted about that he didn't arrive until about 8 o'clock. And also that there were jets flying overhead. And, you know, the Washington has airspace locked down. So her conjecture was, did Fancy Pants have to go back to DC? So we're going to look into that. Let's poke into it a little bit. If you are watching on Twitch or YouTube, unfortunately, you're not going to see that fast. Oh, I need a new camera. Oh, I need a new camera. For some reason, it's very, what's the word? Sensitive. If I move it, it starts unplugging itself. But you can hear me on the microphone. So how do I fix the camera? Okay, looks like the camera's fixed. All right, so that's interesting. All of a sudden now there's a little AI thing. You can manage AI summaries. So now there's AI summaries. Interesting. On TikTok Live, there's now AI summaries. I'm trying to think. Should I go into the pendulum? Well, this right here is, I'm doing the phone for TikTok, but I'm doing a Logitech for YouTube because I've been struggling with downloading these longer lives on TikTok. So I am now recording on, it's interesting. I am now recording on YouTube and Twitch so that I can at least get the cards, you know, because I'm not doing a full face. One, I don't have the background space for that, as you guys on TikTok can see. I am in a contained room, but there's a lot of stuff in here because I make journals by hand and things. I'm looking at, right now, a 2 of Wands in reverse and an Ace of Wands in reverse. Let me take off the mirroring. All right, so I'm looking at confidence. This is interesting because when we had that read about Fancy Pants Vance, and he, oh my God, look, this is the number 1 and this is the number 2. of the wands. So that's really interesting here because he's considered number one, as far as the hierarchy within the government goes. And number two is Fancy Pants Vance. And they both just fell out. Interesting. Interesting. And they both fell out in the reverse. So something's going on here. With the wands, I like to think of the Ace of Wands as like a bop on the head, because it just seems like it's coming from the spiritual world. Like you're just getting bopped on the head, right? It's like you're not listening, or like pay attention to what I'm saying. And what's really interesting is when I was praying, oh, I'm getting goosebumps. So I'm going to tell you what I got when I was praying. Because I asked if there was any message for the people, right? And let me get to that. So I said, any messages for your people? And the message I got was, come away from being on watch. That is all being handled, and there is no need for your energetic interference. Worry about yourself, who you want to be, or when it is, or who you want to be or become when it is no longer the most prevalent thing in your life. Talking about the watch. Worry about you, and not worry in the terms of negativity, but more of think, focus, concentrate on manifesting a life built out of what you want and need instead of one your heart fears, because this will end before you do. There's much more life for you in the sun than in the shadow of rain, REIGN. How do you want to live it at your core? Explore the infinite possibilities before you. Yet let loose of the turmoil and pain. Don't compare to anyone else outside of yourself. The road is open. Blaze your trail. Lightning speed ahead, baby. Rejoice in advance for the goodness that awaits and is hurtling your way. And I saw it like hurtling through space, which was interesting because I was like, wait, is this that Atlas thing? But this is more about, I guess, like your own blessings and stuff. It kind of feels like don't even worry about purpose. It's like you'll discover that. It says trouble doesn't last. And then I started hearing that triumphant song, that parade song, right? Of happy days are here again. Like, and I just kept hearing it. I'm like, I haven't heard that in a long time. And so I started hearing that. And then it says, they will all be dealt with intergalactically. That is all I'm giving you. That's all I'm giving you now. There will be more soon, but I knew that would perk you up. Now go read is what I got. And I was like, wait. What did you just say? Did you just say intergalactically? Oh. I'm like, hold on. I know you just say that. Did you just say that? Interesting. I have an AI moderator. That's so crazy. It says lucky prize, pick a winner, pick a number. What is that? Okay. Y'all try that. Pick a number and see if it does something. I have no idea. That's a weird AI thing. Hi, Leopardess. And it was so weird that I got that message. I don't know what this means, but y'all, I don't even know if the AI thing works. But for some reason, it's just on my account right now. So we'll see if it does anything. Thank you for tapping it up. We're already at 2.4K. Yes. We start personal readings at 10K. But that was such an interesting message because I'm like, all right, let me get like, this political like prediction type of message in a way. And it's funny because I heard like the don't compare yourself, because it's like I started thinking about how other people can just do that. But I keep being told I'm not me, but like my own spiritual team, they're like, we're not performing for people. So it's like whenever I get a message, it's not for performance. Let's put it that way, right? So to get back to these cards that fell out, number 1 and number 2. So with number 1, and I guess this is why I had to go ahead and read this, it says lack of inspiration, block creativity, frustration, and misuse of power. Obviously, he's a misuse of power, right? But it is his misuse of power that has caused a lot of us to be stagnant. Girl, it's like, okay, my human side, I'm gonna say it. My human side is kind of jealous. It's like other people will have like thousands of people seeing their posts or the things that they speak of, or thousands of likes and stuff. And I know that translates eventually like to money. And one of the things that I'm going through right now is I'm technically a SNAP recipient, and we are now a week into the month of November. And so it's like, I gotta feed my kids. And so it's like, okay, what do I need to do that? Maybe if I share more of these type of things, I will get more reach. And but there's always this, and at first I thought this was like a negative money story of mine or something, but I think it's really, I don't want to call it a leash, but it feels like a boundary of mine. Is like, that's not what you're here to do. Like, we do share things with you so that you can share things with others, but that's not what you're on here to do, because that's not all you have to do, I guess. It's just weird. But anyway, so number one, number two, and that's who we're talking about right now. And so if you guys are feeling that, and I will definitely say, like, my anxiety and stuff, right? Envy of blessings. Like, I won't say it's an envy of blessings. Like, truthfully, I would not say it's about their blessings necessarily. It's more of like, what do I need to do to make money to take care of my own? You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily like I envy their blessings. I'm always happy for people. I'm like, you know, but it's like, okay, what do I need to do? Um, it's just weird, right? But doing inner work gets the blessings. And that's the thing too, is that I hear like, just keep showing up, keep doing this. But this doesn't feel like my purpose either. A lot of times my purpose is honestly attached to the people that I get to speak to, because it's like, see, that's what you're here to do. You're here to be healing, not necessarily to be reading people's cards or anything, but to be showing people their shadows so they can deal with that shit and move on, and grow and move on. Um, Sorry, I don't know what that was that just came up. So it's hard to get past abundance isn't always the dollar. Yeah, it's like right now, like, it's also like, keep the desperate energy out of the things that you do, because the desperate energy ends up muddying stuff or clogging stuff, right? Have to walk the fire of transformation, yes, and polish the heart ascension, absolutely. But it's more of like, I guess for me, like, this is the now. So this is not what I want to be known for, or this is not what I need to be known for, because it's really not. Um, but it's kind of like, get this ground level stuff done so we could move you up to the next level, whatever that next level is. But I will tell you though, because I personally felt some of this myself, is this block of creativity. And the loose cannon that he is made it really hard to plan things, right? To plan for a future, to plan for, um, just to see far ahead. And what I will say is that part of that message is reminding you that you need to take your eyes off of him, right? And writing is something I'm supposed to be getting back to, but I've felt so clogged myself, so uninspired. Like, I don't even hear my characters, and normally my characters would be my annoying best friends who talk a lot, and now it's like, where are you guys? I want to finish your book, like that. But it's really weird. But I will say, if you have been feeling that stagnation, I honestly, a lot of us, thank you for joining, a lot of us who are of creative nature, whether it's handcrafts or arts crafts or voices or whatever that creative nature is, I feel like part of our warfare, part of our spiritual gifting, our spiritual weapons is to create, is to be immersed in our art. Um, thank you. Is to be immersed in our art, because not allowing our natural flow, our natural, because one of the things that I've learned is that art is channeling. Good morning. Art is absolutely about channeling. Musicians channel, singers channel, painters channel, writers channel. And so it's like receiving the messages of how you can help change the world in whatever way that could possibly be. And so if you are clogged, if you are uninspired, if you are full of anxiety and being blocked, this is your bump on the head. Do not allow this man's misuse of power, of the fear that he has stoked and has allowed the rest of them to continue to build, block you from utilizing the weapon you were given. That's the biggest part of this particular message, I think, with him. But I do feel, because 1 and 2 came out, that what they just said in that earlier message that I got of we're dealing with it, I think this was a reminder of that. We're dealing with number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, 5. We're dealing with that whole entire line. And so what I do want you guys to start noticing, because I just heard this too, is start seeing how they're dealing with it, because you're going to start to see some supernatural, intergalactic, I guess, interferences start happening. Things that just will not be making any kind of sense whatsoever is going to start countering those things that that we're seeing and that they're trying to enact. Because truth be told, they should have been a lot further than they are now. A lot further than they are now. But they have been blocked, essentially. So the number 2 of this wand here is saying indecision, lack of progress, failed partnerships, and lack of confidence. And I will tell you, we do have a lack of confidence in number 2. He's been waiting for his ship to come in for the longest time. He's a very ambitious guy. To the extent that he thinks the titles will give him value, to the extent that he thinks the title will give him acceptance. And the bottom line is, whether he ascends to number 1 or not, he will never be good enough, because he doesn't know who he is, right? And it feels like they're both going to fall and they're both going to fail in their own timing, but that timing is very fast, very close, because both of these are fire cards. Both of these are fire cards, and fire is good and bad. Controlled fire is good. Uncontrollable fire is destructive. And they're both uncontrolled fires. Yes. So we've got to be doing that work. And here it's saying failed partnership. So it's like they're no Joe Biden and Barack Obama. They're no Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They're no Al Gore and Bill Clinton. Like, there is no relationship between them. You know what I mean? And so that is a failed partnership. The other part to this is this kind of spin that's happening on that relationship front with the Viper. And it's really interesting, because someone did a video, someone that I'm a mutual with on here, she did a video about the blonde widow being a witch. And it's interesting, because the word I actually just heard just now, hey, the word I just heard right now is hag. So it feels more than witch. It feels, because I see those claws, those daggers. And it's really interesting, because I saw a video of her hugging one of these country singers, and that country singer's wife telegraphing on her face exactly what the correct response to that would be, is like, let go of my man, and it was the correct response, because this woman held on to this man longer than was appropriate, and was, pretty much perpendicularly, like trying to intersect with him. to the point where he had to double tap her too to let him go, which is interesting because Fancy Pants Vance had to double tap her also. You know, that whole tap, like, I'm done hugging you, like, let me go type of thing. So that was really interesting. So I did hear the word hag. With me, when I was reading her before that, I got like she's not real. Like there's and it's a weird thing because I couldn't place my finger on it about her not being real. And I didn't really want to go into the energy of that. I will say I still do feel like I want to say I don't feel human. She could be human, obviously, duh, but maybe not soul tethered in a human body. I don't know if that makes sense. Something feels vacant. Um, Something feels really vacant because like I'm picturing her as a person, but it feels like the shell itself is empty. Like there's an emptiness in there. So maybe it's more like not tethered really to humanity. I don't know. Not fully in a body. It's weird. It's really, really weird. Almost as if I don't want to say that she's a body double, but that she is a completely made up identity. I don't know if that would make sense. Like she is not who she is. You know, that feels more of what I'm saying when I'm saying she's not real. It's like she's not who she is. She's not who she has been presented to be for us. Um, I have no idea totally what that is all about. Yeah, the divide is an illusion, a red and blue, to an extent. To an extent, um, I would definitely say to an extent because at the end of the day, the policies are pretty divisive. The policies have been people or profit. The individual person themselves could be obviously corrupted or what have you, but I think as the unit is supposed to be, it's there really is that struggle. Um, it really is two wings of a bird, you know, like the right has work to do, the left has work to do. And if they do it like they're supposed to do, it would be a balancing act. It would be progressive. It would be something like that. But the fact that, because you do need that tension, that push pull in a way, I guess. Well, no, you don't. You need the accord because how does a bird fly? Yeah, both at the same time. So you need an accord, so to speak. But we're not finding a accord because of the corruption of money, which is interesting. Um, I can't tell you if you're a chosen one, honey. Uh, I will say to that question is that you will know, right? Um, and you will know that you're chosen for whatever that reason is. You're not like chosen for something like Harry Potter. You know what I mean? Like it's not that. It is going to be a different idea of chosen, meaning that this could be your moment in whatever field or thing that you're doing, but it's not going to be I'm the chosen one. Like you're not Harry Potter. You're not Superman. You're not. Um, I mean, to be perfectly honest, that is just European fiction of being a chosen one, um, because there's really more of a community of people being chosen as opposed to a chosen one. Like people have their jobs, of what they're supposed to be doing, and you know how the indigenous people tend to be guardians of the earth. Like that's a job, right? And that's a collective chosen. That's not an individual. There is no individual when it comes down to human beings. It's really not. Okay, so thank y'all so much for the gifts and things. I'm sorry, I totally missed them because I got locked in trying to think, not trying to think, but trying to receive. Sounds like, yeah. I don't know if it's that she gave up in life or that, I won't say that I don't believe in selling your soul. Like, I'm not going to say that. Because there's so much I don't know, to be honest. There's so much that I can't verify because I'm just a baby human in all of this stuff. And my soul knowledge and my spirit knowledge is not reconnected with my human knowledge. So I can't speak on a lot of those things. Um, I just know that some things are, there's something like I can't put my finger on it. Um, I will say there seems to be something, like if you ever look at her, ice blue eyes are weird to me, for one. Like, they're just a weird thing for me. Hey, Maddie. They're just a weird thing for me because sometimes they look so soulless, to be honest. Like, they're so clear that there's no warmth in them. They tend to look very cold to me a lot of the times. But there's a difference between, because I'm thinking of two ice blue eyed people, right? So there's a difference between her and, say, Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish, for me, doesn't actually look soulless. Her eyes twinkle, like there's light in those eyes, you know? For this other one, it doesn't feel like there is. It feels like, is anyone in there? I don't know. It feels weird. But anyway, so just to reiterate, as far as the messaging goes, 1 and 2 are being handled. Maddie, we're talking about some interesting things. So first off, I don't know if you saw my post before this, but Under the Desk News had reported about some sudden emergency movings in the White House, and one included somebody suddenly flying to Mar-Lago, and then someone who might be suddenly flying back to DC. So, as I was shuffling, 1 and 2 jumped out. And it's really interesting because they're in reverse. And then I read a message that I received in prayer before I got on, which was basically, don't worry your pretty little head about this. We got this, like this type of thing. And they keep coming out in clumps. And I'm like, is this because my cards are starting to get worn? But then when I look at them, I'm like, oh, no, this is exactly what it's supposed to be. It's really interesting because this just jumped out here, and this is the Ace of Swords, and so swords are basically mental things, and it's really interesting because I'm like, what order am I supposed to be reading these when they fall out? But it's like, I guess let me not think about it. Let me just go with it, right? So this here is the Ace of Swords. This light is killer. Let me see if the second light actually helps. So this is the Ace of Swords. Again, I feel like aces are bonks on the head. There we go. There we go. That fixes the light. Okay. So it feels like aces are bunks on the head, right? And so it's really interesting because this is saying cutting through the cutting through the confusion. Uh, okay, let me just go through them because it's like the story is trying to shape up, and I'm trying to see what's happening here. Um, so hey, Soretta. The next card that came out was the Queen of Pentacles. And this is really interesting because when I saw it, my mind immediately jumped to Lotus, and it's not because I was trying to. It was like, that's her. And I'm like, but how? Because I've heard people say she's like the Queen of Cups or something different. But again, for me, very strongly, Pentacles tend to mean values. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate that. Oh my God, we're at 13, so I'm gonna have to get to personals in a second. Just to give some quick housekeeping, personals include this menu. So this is how you get a reading if you choose to. So Queen of Pentacles, and this is about that, but then, and it's interesting because whenever I start to see this Knight of Swords, it's starting to align itself with the shenanigans of this government, especially when I see it in the reverse. So this is the Knight of Swords, and it's talking about impulsiveness, recklessness, aggression, hasty decisions, and lack of direction. And for some reason, like I always get Pete Hegseth with this card. Every time it like comes up, I'm like, that's Pete. That's because for me, he represents I'm trying to think of how I can say this. Because he represents the military to me, but at the same time, when I'm saying military, I'm talking about the little boy who likes to pretend. Like how we're being led by these people. These people are little boys who like to pretend that they're important. They like to pretend that they have the ability to make big boy decisions, but instead they make rash, childish decisions. Uh, this is really interesting. I just lost my camera for the live stream. That's crazy. Why did you die? Interesting. I'm just going to take it as this doesn't need to go out there with people. So Jasmine, I have a menu over here. You can choose from that. I don't do free readings. Okay, so what's the story here? Breakthrough. So that's the word that just jumped out for me here. So with the Ace of Swords, the word that just jumped out for me, I guess we don't need this anymore. The word that jumped out for me is breakthrough. So breakthrough, truth, power. This is finding its way to the front. And that's really interesting because I don't know if you guys follow David Manasco, but he just reported on what the ETA is doing, and they just filed a lawsuit. But David also, thanks to what happened on Tuesday, when several people went to throw their, you guys, I'm sorry, I'm not these random readers. I have a menu. You guys have to choose from there if you want a reading. Okay, so David Manasco, because of Tuesday, when people said they went to go cast their choice, they were told that they were inactive. And so that got him digging into the rolls. And he's had some rolls from April, like things that he had already purchased and downloaded from different counties and whatnot. And he was able to verify that she did, because they told her if you're inactive, that means you didn't cast your choice for a long time. And she's like, but I did. I cast my choice in November. And they're like, what? No, we don't see you. And so because she made this video, David got in touch with her. David is with ETA, and they have done some research. And what they have found is, for some strange reason, a targeted age group of blue people are being inactivated just randomly, whether or not they had cast a choice recently. And because of that video, now they're starting to see a pattern of this. And this pattern is less, oh, maybe data got manipulated, to more, oh, this is very clear. And this is evidential. And this can now actually make us start looking back there and basically counting something as illegitimate, and also seeing that there's a wider spread issue. And I know people are like, why isn't this hurrying? Because I am people. Like, why is this not hurrying up? Because what starts to happen is, the minute you pull one piece of thread, it just all starts unraveling. And next thing you know, you're not pulling thread, you're not pulling thread, you're pulling string. You're not pulling string, you're pulling whole yarn balls. You're not pulling yarn balls, you are pulling entire llamas or whoever you're getting this thing from. And next thing you know, it's not just one llama, it's an entire herd. This thing is so deeply corrupted. It's like, how do you speak up on one thing? Like, it's just weird, right? So it's a big thing. And what is starting to happen, and while I say he's just with this one person, but I feel this right now, is that again, this is going to be one of those bonk on the heads with this supernatural gift of truth. Yeah. And it's interesting because I heard people say from November, I went to go do this, but someone had already done it. Right. And so this is where the issue seems to be. So right now it is, I'm inactive. How? But in November it was, someone voted. How? Oh God. Well, there, I said the V word. But anyway, so there's some anomalies, but these anomalies are actually more evidentiary than the other ones. The other ones are like, if I play with the data a little bit, then I can see that this comes out, blah, blah, blah. This is not, let me play with the data. This is, oh, this is the data. Like, I don't have to do anything except take count, you know? So it's interesting. But it feels like this is going to be some massive truth that comes through that is going to be undeniable. And it's interesting because, like I said, I'm going back to that letter. That letter is, we got this, you know, and it's like, we got this. And I feel like that is so much sooner than we know. It feels more present. The energy of it feels present for me. I don't know if it feels the same way for you, but I feel like that I don't want to say help. I guess that is the word I'm gonna use. It feels like that help, that support, that movement, that energy is actually present now. Um, it's very interesting. That's really, really interesting. And it's real interesting too, because I just looked at this picture on the Ace of Swords, and it's like, I'm coming for that crown. I'm coming for your crown. I'm coming for your gold leaf. I'm coming for the things that was fake, and that you hold dear. I'm coming for, and it feels like this might be a laurel, you know, like the green, you know, the wreath or laurel that they put on when you win. I'm coming for all of that. This is interesting stuff, because here, and it's dually, I got this impression of being cared for. And I thought of Mother Earth when looking at this, and it's, you know, this is an Earth card actually, but I thought of Mother Earth. So I thought of being cared for. So it's almost like, even though this card isn't a king, it feels fatherly, and this feels motherly, and it feels like, oh, I'm getting so many goosebumps. It's crazy. It feels like the family is here. It feels like, oh, it's weird. It's just really weird to even think of it this way. It feels like we have you. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Like, the feeling I just felt was like, not just love, but like, oh man, I don't know how to explain that energy that just like rushed in, but it was like, I got you. And I think that is one of those very, I'm going to say disruptive, and it kind of is. It's almost like regulating, right? Like, if I don't know if y'all ever had this happen, but if someone hugs you and it's like a genuine hug, it's almost as if you can transfer your anxiety or transfer your negative energy to them, because they can handle it and they can transmute it and they can take it off of you. That's what that just felt like right there. It was like, I got you. You are allowed to rest in this. It's like, In a way, it also felt ancestral. Let me put it that way. It also felt ancestral. I don't know if that's just personally or if that's something for humankind as well, but it's like we got you. And no, it's also for humankind. Because I just like envision the swell of spirits, the swell of souls, like coming up. It's weird. It was like coming up to embrace and to fight at the same time. Essentially, let me put it this way, we're not alone, okay? That's the biggest thing that I'm taking away from these two particular cards is that we're not alone. Um, and this one is like, even, I think they feel it too, but for them, it's not going to feel the same way it feels for us. For them, it's going to feel like TikTok bitches. I don't know why that just came out that way, but that's what it feels like. It feels like TikTok bitches. Your time is almost up and you know it. So there feels like there's this more rash energy happening. And that's why what's coming out here is impulsiveness, recklessness, aggression, hasty decisions. Because when we got this, interestingly enough, when we got this for the October reading in the third week, they did do something immediately rash. They did go out and destroy the East Wing. And that was absolutely rash. It wasn't done properly. They're going to make people sick if they haven't already. And so it just feels like that little dick energy. I don't know why these are coming out this way, but that's what it feels like. It feels like that little dick energy. Like that scene. Hold on. Let me get rid of this card so I can read it. Like that scene in the hero movies where everyone lines up and is ready. Yes, it does feel like the Avengers, that Avengers scene specifically, right? When people are coming through the portal, like you think you're done, you think it's over, you're exhausted from fighting. And then all of a sudden there's another breath that comes through because help has, that's the message. Hold on. That is the message. I just got it very, very, very clearly. Help has arrived. Wow. That was like the perfect image of it because that is intergalactically. Hey Candy. That is spiritually. That is, you know, also like the spirit manifesting into physical. Help has arrived. And so as we've talked about, we are in that extinction burst of this particular administration. And truth be told, we really are. We've been playing chicken, right? Um, because now we've had three judges, right? Three judges say, feed the kids, right? Because, and what people don't understand, it's not even the kids, like it's everybody. It's the disabled, it's the elderly, it's the military. Like military in Georgia are being told to go to, not Georgia, Germany are being told to go to pantries. And Germany is like, nah, that's not our problem. That's your problem. um, Candy, I literally spoke about this like a little bit earlier. Hold on. But it's interesting. So, but like the, it's so many more people on Snap than people realize. It's foster care. You know, people are sharing these false receipts. If you ever see those receipts, you've got to use a little discernment because when you look at those receipts, you'll see that the font numbers are changed. You'll see that it has been photoshopped. It's terrible Photoshop. And hey, Sandra. So it's just like, or Sandra. And the people like I had this woman block me actually because she shared one of them stupid ass receipts and she was like, look, there's a white woman recipient. I'm like, listen, I'm not going with you on this whole thing. um First of all, these fonts are different. No, I saw this in person. I'm like, there's no way you did. First of all, because this is from 2013. The date on the receipt was 2013. The fonts were different. The font of the food stamp balance, which was in the millions. I'm like, you dumbasses. Food stamps is maxed out at less than $300 a person. So even if you had 27 kids, like I saw this guy in Utah have, even if you have like 27 kids, That's 27 times 300. That's nowhere near $1 million. Like, and I'm just like, I don't know. You realize how stupid people are when it comes down to racist, sexist, and classist things. You're like, you really believe that? Like, that's dumb. I didn't know you were this stupid. But you can't say that to people, right? Because that would be rude. Uh, People don't realize though that their stupidity is hurt, like not hurtful in like, oh my God, it hurt my feelings. It's hurtful like in, how did I not know you were this dumb? You know, like, wow. And to think I thought you were a rational human being. How did I tolerate you? Really? Um, at this point in time, with the way Photoshop is, yeah, with the way Photoshop is, it's like, please second guess everything you see. Like, I don't know if we could fix education. I really don't, especially because we allow like a lot of homeschool stuff to happen, and a lot of people who are not educated themselves are trying to homeschool people. And then there's religious homeschool, and then I don't have nothing against homeschool. I want to homeschool my kids. I just have a lot against people who are not equipped to homeschool, trying to homeschool their kids because they're too dumb to actually help kids with work. It's We got to realize people are dumb, not unintelligent, just dumb, book dumb. Oh my gosh, you know. I wish we could just call people out for stupid, like, how stupid. But then it's like, you hurt my feelings. It's like your feelings need to be hurt because how stupid are you to believe this shit? Anyway, so this card actually just fell out and it's really interesting. I was trying to see what this is. This is our first major arcana card, and it's the Emperor card. That's your boy right there. Authority, structure, stability, and leadership. Obviously, stability is missing, so I don't know if it's your boy like that. Oh, that's really interesting. Rams are rams. A ram is pretty much like a sheep in a way, right? Just more stubborn and more bullheaded, so to speak. Because that's who he's leading. He's leading essentially the sheep, the bullheaded rams. Uh, that's pretty crazy. I feel like he's coming off his, like he came in the upright, but it's like, given what just came out, especially in this rash order, it doesn't, gosh, it feels like he's falling, like the throne is falling. I don't know. Let's clarify that. And then we're going to get into, I feel like now we can do the pendulum talk. It's like, I feel like the pendulum and I were not talking to each other. It's like, you're not in the zone yet. So call me in a second. I'm like, okay, let me call you in a second. Can you clarify this Emperor for me? I'm getting the 4. Why the 4th? Is that like fourth quarter, December 4th? And it's really weird because like the background feels like very like society, like Vanilla Sky. Like, it's weird. Like, there's people in the background, people or mountains, either way it goes. Just things that are hard to climb. December 4th is your dad's birthday. Hey, AJ. Oh man, am I supposed to take these? No. Wait, yes. This one said yes you do. Not both of them. I had 2 in my hands. This one said yes you do. Interesting. Because I asked to clarify this because, like I said, even though I got in the upright, it felt like he's falling. And then this card came out, which is the 10 of Pentacles. And it feels like we're celebrating. That's an interesting, like, I try to make sure that I do not read these wrong because, if you've ever watched sympathetic spiritual people, you'll see the cards and you're like, how did you read that? It's like, see, he's such a strong man and he's going to be amazing. And you're just like, how did you read that out of that? Because that's where the bias comes in. So that's why I like check in, like, wait, what was that? Because I try not to let my bias come, because if that's what it is, that's what it is. I'd rather know what's coming than to be like, let me talk this into a different way. But it's really interesting because even though that came in the upright, it feels like he's falling, especially because it comes after the rash night. So it's like that impulsiveness, that recklessness basically threatens. Interesting. So as I was saying the word threatens, I also just heard the word restores. And so that is when it shifts from him. Okay. Okay, so that's okay. So that's why it feels like he's fallen. So it's in the upright because stability and leadership is going to be restored. And that's interesting because I said that was him, but it's not. Hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to listen. Okay, so the throne is vacated and stability is restored. The throne is vacated and stability is restored. That's interesting because that's not on this card. Like that's not what the card says, but that's what I'm literally hearing is that the throne is vacated and stability is restored. And that's why there's celebration. The throne, that's weird. Those of you who are gifted as well, what are you picking up? Are you picking up anything? Okay. You saw some videos about Biden having some kind of reset button. I've heard about it, but I went trying to find it in the EOs and I could not find anything about it. I need to go on Libby's page because she says she has a link to it. So I do need to go check that out. Libby on the YT. I don't know, because this is wisdom. So when I said that was him, I'm like, it's not. And I'm getting goosebumps now. Okay. This is wisdom. So it's wisdom like coming back. So the throne is vacated and stability is restored because wisdom reclaims the throne. Because you see, it's the wise old, like he would not grow a beard. And so it's like it's the wisdom. Okay, because I'm like, but the crown and things, I'm like he has a crown and he has a gold sepulcher or whatever you call it, and I'm just like, so why wouldn't that be him? But it's like taking back, like I got the motion of taking things back. Like he's essentially like robbed our safes, robbed our safes in our vaults and stuff. Um, like they like when the patients run the asylum, like that's literally what's been happening, right? And so it's just been a free for all of robbing our safes and things. But it's like taking it back. Like I see snatching it back. It's weird. December 3rd. I don't like, it's weird. I don't like to go with what these people say. Um, I would say like recently, I did get that he would have the heart event. That just popped out, and I saw that he would have the heart event. So it didn't necessarily mean we'd have the obituary, but it would mean that he'd be so incapacitated that he couldn't do it. And that's fourth quarter. So it's like December is something big. Okay. And December should not be the 12th month. It should actually be the 10th. It's not necessarily having a new king. No, it's a new leader. But December is supposed to be the 10th month. There's something here. Hold on. Help me out. Okay. If I was to go to the pendulum, what would I ask? What would I ask? Okay. And then there's victory and success. This is the first wand we get in this reading. But it's not the first fire. It's victory and success. How can you accomplish? But okay, how does that clarify? That's what it means. Okay, that is what it means, because I was asking to clarify that Emperor card, and so it comes out. That's interesting. 4 plus 6 equals 10. Is that just a crazy pattern thing, or is that like something to pay attention to? 4 plus 6 equals 10. 4 plus 6 equals 10. 4 plus 6 equals 10. Whoa. Okay. They're prepping his second to take over. I know that that's part of it, right? We've had readings on that already. I'm not doing that many damn cards. Just give me a clarifier, please. Time has sped up. Definitely, Candy. Time has sped up. Something's different. 4 plus 6 equals 10. Oh, geez, I'm getting goosebumps like crazy right now. What are you saying? What are you saying? If I was to ask, what would I be asking? What would you say? Okay, there's Vance with the 2 of Wands, waiting for his chance, waiting for the ship. But then there's the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. And that's greed, selfish. Okay, that's our boy. Greed, selfishness. Who's Howard? Greed, selfishness, stinginess, exploitation, ungratefulness. That's him. That's our boy. Planning, decision making. That's our boy. So what does that mean? What is this reading even about? What are you telling me? Okay. Prepare yourself. Change is coming. A new day is dawning. Walk into it with your eyes open. We are here. When is the new moon? Can someone tell me? When is the new moon? Does anyone know? All right, I'm going to end this stream because it's not working.